We were somewhere around Barstow, on the edge of the desert, when the drugs began to take hold.
You're either in or you're out. Right now.
I want to gamble.
I never want to hear those words out of your mouth again.
Gambling is not your problem.
Has anybody ever told you before your bad luck?
Most gamblers, when they go to gamble, they go to win.
Those were my mother's dying words.
When we go to gamble, we go to lose. Show me the money.
Let's get out of here, man.
Show you money.
Honestly, let's just go. Let's go to Vegas.
Look at you back in that, Jerry. I want you to say what you would mean it, brother. Show me the money!
It's the Sports Memory Vegas pregame show.
What is going on, everybody? This is Brandon Brister back again for March Madness Day 2, just in case yesterday wasn't enough. We've had 3 overtime games, 6 upsets in just day 1. It was wild. You had Purdue, boiler down. Definitely a little bit of revisionist. I didn't wear this yesterday, but definitely rocking it today since North Texas, 13 seed, North Texas knocks off Purdue. You have Oral Roberts knocking out Ohio State. Now, how many of you had Ohio State going far? I know a lot of people did. I did not. I think they were playing really, really hot. I had both Arkansas and Texas Tech, depending on the bracket, beating them. So that loss really didn't hurt me. I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit. I did really well. I did 3 different brackets, and I'm in first, and first in all of them in max points. Not in, and of course, I didn't have Oral Roberts, and I only had North Texas in one of them. So my bracket's not perfect, but I'm doing very well as far as max points, which is what really matters. Right now, if you're in any sort of league, you want to not necessarily look where you are at in the standings, but you want to look at max points. And right now, guys, I am slaughtering it. I had many of the upsets yesterday, including I had Syracuse winning that game. If you listened yesterday, I had Rutgers. If you listened to yesterday, you can go back. I said I wasn't confident enough. If you go back in about the 7-8 minute mark of yesterday's video, I said that both Colgate and North Texas would give them a game. And both of them, obviously North Texas was able to pull it off. But just a wonderful, wonderful slate of games yesterday. And I think today might be a little bit more boring, unfortunately. I have all chalk, guys, which doesn't make for great podcasting. Certainly doesn't make for great podcasting. But I still think there's some really, really good games. So enough about yesterday, enough about me. Let's get into the slate today. And I think we start with the game everyone's calling the 12-5 upset. Last night, everyone was like, oh, Winthrop's going to beat Villanova without Connor Gillespie. No. Everyone's like, Georgetown's hot. They won the Big East. They're going to beat Colorado. No. McKinley Wright is going to run all over Georgetown. Georgetown's really big, so that they could establish an inside presence. That could be trouble for Colorado, but I don't think so. Colorado is favored by 5.5. I would take those 5.5. I like Colorado if you've listened to this show over the past couple weeks. Moving into Florida State territory, I know a lot of listeners down there are Seminoles fans, and I don't think you guys have to worry about UNC Greensboro today. You guys have size that just can't be matched, and certainly not matched by a mid-major. 10.5 is a lot of points, guys. That's a lot of points. I'm staying away from this game. If anything, I'm taking the under. I think Florida State absolutely puts the lock down on UNC Greensboro, but I'm not near as confident Florida State covers as I am in Colorado. So, take Florida State money line if you want to juice them up in any parlay. But again, that line's a really, really good line. Going into the next game, again, we covered for about 3 seconds in our bracketology, and I'm going to cover it for about 3 seconds again. I think Kansas beats the heck out of Eastern Washington. I don't think there's no way Eastern Washington makes this a game. You guys getting a trend here? We're 3 games in, and I'm picking all confident winners, which leads me to the next one, which I think is probably going to be one of the better games of the day. LSU St. Bonaventure. We saw in the 8-9 matchups yesterday, Wisconsin totally handled North Carolina, just like I said they would. If you listened yesterday, there was no way those Wisconsin seniors were going to lose in that game. And then we also saw in Loyola, Georgia Tech, we saw, Loyola played just a really strong game, start to finish. Georgia Tech could just never get in the groove. And I could see the Bonnies doing the same thing, but I'm rolling with Trendon Wofford. I think that guy's an absolute stud. I don't think St. Bonaventure has anyone they can throw at Trendon to slow him down whatsoever. And again, for as much of a scumbag that Will Wade is, he's a really good coach. So I have LSU, but I have this being a good game. I think this is anywhere from a 5 to 7 point game, which that means I think LSU is going to cover. So I like Colorado to cover, and I like LSU to cover as well. A 16-1. I know a 15-2 happened yesterday, but no way. Even without Livers, Texas Southern looked awful on Thursday. There's really no reason they should have won. So I think I like Michigan there in that game. 25.5 points is a ton. I stay away from point spreads in these games. They're just way too hard to predict when they're blowouts at the end. Another 12-5 in the Grouchos versus the Blue Jays. Santa Barbara versus Creighton. Man, you guys know I love Creighton. They're 7.5 point favorites again. Another sexy 12-5 upset. It's going to happen. Is it not going to happen? No way. My Blue Jays take care of business. They come at you at waves. I do think Santa Barbara keeps us close in the beginning because they have some guards that can kind of keep up. But I think Creighton is just way too much of an offensive powerhouse. And they've actually been playing really good defense. I think that game expands in the second half, and Creighton covers the 7.5 point spread. Here we go. We got another 15-2. Can Rick Pitino do what Oral Roberts did? Can Iona shock Alabama? Now, I know a lot of you guys also have Alabama going really far. I've read in a lot of the comments, and I've looked at a lot of brackets. A lot of people have Alabama going far, and I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed. Just not today. I love Rick Pitino. He's going to be the new coach of New Mexico, if you didn't catch that news. But I think Alabama takes care of them today. Now we got the 11-6 game. If you heard me on Monday, excuse me. If you heard me on Monday, 11s are the new 12s, but I don't like the upset here. I would have liked it if it was Wichita State, but they choked it away against Drake. So I actually like Mobley and USC to cover and win here. I think Drake's little Cinderella run stops after one win in the play-in game. Grand Canyon, Iowa. Again, another 15-2. There's no way that happens for the 10th time. Just in case you guys don't know, what we saw yesterday, if you watched that Oral Roberts Ohio State game, was history. That was only the 9th time it's ever happened. It's happened 4 times in the past decade, which is pretty common. But it was 15 seeds were 8 and 132 before yesterday. There's no way we see it again. We saw the 15 seed magic. I love Grand Canyon. Great story. I've only been in NCAA for a couple of years, but I think Iowa takes care of business, rights the Big Ten ship. Speaking of Big Ten ship, Maryland, UConn. I know a lot of people have this as an upset, but I think the Big Ten continues to struggle. That hurts me to say as a Big Ten guy in Big Ten country. But I think UConn, I think James Bouknight continues to play like a stud. I think this is actually probably one of the better games of the day. It doesn't start till 7, so you're actually going to have to wait a bit to get to it. But I think this is going to be from tip to buzzer, an absolutely awesome game. I'm staying away gambling-wise because I think It's going to be just such a close game. I am taking UConn, but I'm not confident about it. Maryland can throw 5 studs at you and make it extremely, extremely difficult. Rolling into another 13-4. That's what North Texas and Purdue were. But there's no way Tony Bennett. I love Matt Painter. I like this Purdue team. If you listen to the bracketology, I said they had the talent to go far, but the youthfulness of that team really showed up. Virginia doesn't have that problem. So I don't give Ohio quite the chance that I gave North Texas yesterday during this recording. Then at 7:25, kind of a bummer. You got 7:10 Maryland UConn, and then 7:25 Missouri Oklahoma. I think this game is amazing. These two teams are about as close as you get, and Vegas agrees. You almost never get an even. You're normally going to get 1 point one way or the other. Vegas can't even figure this out as we sit here an hour from tip from the first games. This game is going to be unbelievable. Definitely get your dual monitors out if you can. Here in the Brister household, I have 3 60-inch TVs all down in my living room. So I will definitely be having CBS, and the Maryland game is on CBS, and this game is on TNT. So definitely mark your channels for that at about 7 o'clock. Make yourself a drink, order a pizza, sit down and watch 2 amazing games. I'm taking Missouri because they have the better players, but Oklahoma might have the better overall team. So, again, I think this is going to be a dynamic matchup. But, again, gun to head, make me pick. I'm picking Missouri. Gonzaga will absolutely destroy Norfolk State. I'm going to take Gonzaga to win by 33 just because it's fun, but I don't recommend it. I have Gonzaga make it into the championship. I think this is a fairly easy region for them to steamroll, and they start today at 9 o'clock. The 3 night games, I think, are all pretty good. I think UCLA gives BYU a run, but I think ultimately BYU has the size and experience, and they have a great coach. Mark Pope, former Kentucky player, is probably playing himself into a high major job if he keeps what he's doing at BYU up. And UCLA didn't look all that impressive on Thursday. It was more Michigan State looking atrocious than UCLA looking good. So this is one of the 6 seeds I do like in BYU. Upset alert, Abilene Christian against Texas. Yes, I love Texas. In one of my brackets, I have Texas going to the championship. But again, I'm going to do what I did with North Texas yesterday. I'm going to say I'm not picking Texas. But if you want to throw 5, 10, get frisky and get $20 on Abilene Christian, it might happen. Abilene Christian is really good, guys. And Texas can go absolutely cold, and they can't score sometimes. They have an issue scoring, which you saw with Tennessee. I think Texas is leaps and bounds better than Tennessee, but Tennessee just couldn't find a way to score, a defensive team that just couldn't get hot. And I think you might have that with Texas today. I think Texas wins. I don't think they cover. But again, I think it may, just kind of like an Oral Roberts, North Texas play, it might be worth throwing a couple dollars at Abilene Christian tonight. And then the final game, again, Villanova Winthrop last night didn't quite live up to the hype, but I think this game does. I think VCU Oregon is a very good game. I think whoever wins this game is going to give Iowa a real run for its money on Monday. I'm taking Oregon, but I'm not too confident about it. I'm staying away from this game gambling wise. But overall, again, I think our nightcap is a phenomenal game. Both teams like to get up and go. Both teams play extremely good defense. Both teams can really score. I think it's going to be a super fun game. If I've had too many cocktails, I may throw the over in this game. That's how much I like it. But again, guys, just enjoy this. Again, I can't tell again how lucky we are to be able to pull this off. Indianapolis is doing such a great job. I'm proud to live in the city that should host the tournament every year. Guys, we're here. Love it. Get your drink, get your snacks, get on that couch and go watch some basketball.